The room is quiet enough to hear the refrigerator tick. Your phone lifts the ceiling with a pale square, then dies back to black. You wait for a message that doesn't arrive, and the silence starts to feel like weather. We blame that heaviness on modern life, like headphones, elevators, feeds, but the feeling is ancient. It kept our ancestors alive by screaming when the distance between me and us grew too wide. In 2003, Naomi Eisenberger and Matthew Lieberman showed that social rejection lights up some of the same brain regions as physical pain. That sting is not metaphor, it's wiring. So if the pain is old, the question becomes strange. Before calendars and apps, how did people kill it? When night arrived on the savannah or in a forest clearing, what did a human do with that ache? They fed it with firelight. Anthropologist Polly Wiesner, working with the Jew/Huangsi in the Kalahari, described how days are for tasks and transaction, but nights around the fire turn into stories, morality, and laughter. After dark, talk widens the circle, repairs rifts, rehearses dangers, and binds people who might otherwise drift. It's not just a warm light, it's a switch of mode, from survival to belonging. By the flames, conversation shifts. Daytime speech is who hunts, who owes what broke. Firelight speech is ancestors, tricksters, warnings wrapped in humor. Shared myths are a stitching needle as each person adds a thread. The tent of we tightens. They also sang, across cultures, humans turned breath into rope. In 2013, researchers at the University of Gothenburg found that choir singers' heart rates synchronize as their breathing lines up under the melody. It feels mystical, hearts beating together, but it's physiology. When breath lengthens, the vagus nerve reigns in the rhythm. Line enough bodies under the same musical sentence and they settle into a shared beat. Laughter joined the medicine. In 2012, studies led by Robin Dunbar showed that group laughter raises pain thresholds, a proxy for endorphins flooding the system. Endorphins are the brain's way of patting you on the shoulder from inside. It's safe here. Stay. A joke by the fire is not just entertainment, it's bonding chemistry. Synchrony work even without melody, drumming, clapping, marching. In 2009, Scott Wiltermuth and Chip Heath found that moving in sync makes people cooperate more. Later work extended it. Synchrony plus exertion bonds even faster. If you've ever rode with strangers or shouted cadence on a run, you know the sudden, irrational loyalty. Touch stayed in the toolkit. Grooming in primates buys peace and quiet stress. Humans scaled it up but never abandoned skin. A hand on a shoulder, braiding hair. Passing a baby around a circle. Gentle touch can release oxytocin and endorphins, turning a room into a nervous system that calms itself. The message is simple, you're still inside the fence. Sleeping together mattered too. For much of history, families and neighbors shared one roof, heat and breath pooling in the dark. Communal sleep isn't romantic. Someone snores, someone steals the blanket. But the body learns a night lesson. Even unconscious, I am not alone. Signal was another weapon. Humans invented sound that carries it, talking drums across valleys, bright calls in mountains, horns, bells. They're little miracles of acoustics and also bridges. When you travel by ear, the world shrinks to a circle you can shout across. Sometimes that is the distance between despair and relief. Work helped as well. Not solitary grind, but labor that stacks bodies and rhythms. Harvest, building, carrying water in lines. People sang work songs because synchronization makes heavy tasks lighter and the lonely hour endurable. And stories, always stories. The mind hates pain without pattern. Around a hearth, the womb becomes a tale with characters and cause, sometimes a joke at the end. Wiesner noted that by firelight, people talk about relationships, distant places, and what might be, not only what was. Future casting isn't escapism, it's scaffolding against isolation. Notice what all of this shares. It isn't technology, it's ritual, low warm light. A circle, not rows. Breath visible as song or laughter. Bodies moving together, touch that says, you matter. Signal that travels. Stories that carry memory. Loneliness doesn't survive where bodies and attention stay in sync. Here's the twist. Your nervous system isn't asking for more people. It's asking for proofs, physiological receipts. At 2 a.m., the tribe might technically be there, but your senses can't catch the check. No scent of smoke, No micro timing of a friend's inhale before they laugh. No shared wait when the drum hits. The ache isn't irrational. It's an audit. So what would the ancient answer look like in a city apartment? Dim the LEDs and let one lamp become fire. Call a friend and walk while you talk so your steps sync. Hum on the same note for a minute. Yes, it's weird until you both laugh and the weirdness dissolves into endorphins. Cook together while a song plays on loop. Drum a table. Tell the small story you are going to type and stop when it gets through. None of this is a moral prescription, it's an experiment. How little does it take to bend two bodies into one rhythm? When you understand loneliness as a body level signal, shame has less room to grow. It's not proof you're unlikable, it's proof you are a primate with a brain tuned to other brains. The same switch that once saved you from wandering off a cliff of isolation now misfires in a world where visibility is cheap and embodiment is scarce. Knowledge doesn't cancel the ache, but it gives you handles. History leaves the door ajar. If firelight conversation can widen the circle, maybe a weekly dark hour with phones face down becomes sacred. If song can braid heartbeats, maybe a bad week means 3 voices on a couch learning a chorus. If synchrony builds trust, maybe your group chat meets to carry groceries just to feel like a small village again. If signal matters, maybe you invent a sound you only use for each other. A knock, a whistle, a hey, that means I'm here. No one has the perfect recipe because humans are messy and cultures write different maps. But the outline is stubborn across eras and continents. We gather, breathe, pulse, and tell. The cure for the empty room is not 1,000 more faces. It's one dependable rhythm that admits you back inside. Like tonight, the refrigerator will tick again. The phone will flare and fade. You can wait for the algorithm to seat you at a table, or you can build a tiny hearth from breath and voice and light. Our ancestors learned to make night gentle with almost nothing. That is still available. Maybe the oldest secret is this. Loneliness ends not when the world notices you, but when your body answers another body in time. A drum, a laugh, a breath. The door in your chest opening not to a crowd but to a circle you can carry.